Yeah.
Okay, so the same concept of these ITTO charts is that it doesn't have to be the whole textbook definition of something. It could be either an example of why you can remember that it is in the input or a TT or output, or it could just be a one word, right? So when we look at perform qualitative risk analysis, the key here is about prioritizing individual projects, all right? And then absolutely to take action on them. And how key efforts are on high priority list. So it's individual, no, individual project. Yeah, continue.
No, so like individual risks and basically, it's the kind of impact and probability. So those are like two key words that you have to associate with qualitative risk analysis.
Yeah.
So impact again, like we'll probably have to look at the risk traceability matrix or whatever it is.
Absolutely. So risk traceability matrix. What else? And then qualitative, it's not as numeric as quantitative, so that's something to know.
Yeah. So you want to know like the extent, like the kind of impact it's going to make on your project or your deliverables, whether it's impacting just one specific process or whether it's impacting like the entire, like process group in any sort of way, shape or form.
Yep.
Or whether it's stakeholders, the market, like what could it be? I'm just still trying to open this on my laptop, so.
Yep, take your time. Okay, so stuff like that you have to know. In this qualitative, I think because even yesterday we did 4.1 and 4.2, so we learned some stuff. Quality, another thing, yes. We need to know up to this point in this, the levels. Do we need to know the levels of quality management in this one? No, not this one. All right, so let's get started. And then we'll get back to what we need to know. But the benefit of this process is that it focuses efforts on high priority risk. This process is performed throughout the project. All right, inputs. So why would the risk management plan be in here is because, the plan will talk about, and this is what we did yesterday, so you have clarity on the background. So yesterday we did 11.2 ITTO answer. I'm just clicking around. Okay, so we knew that the requirements management plan was a part of this. So identifying risk with the risk management plan, we know we get the risk strategy, methodology, rules and responsibility, funding, timing, risk categories, stakeholder risk appetite, definition of risk probability and impact matrix, report formats, and tracking. So that's all the stuff we get as it relates to having the risk management plan. Okay. That's why it's an input, because of all these stuff we get in.
Fair enough.
Assumption log. This is about assumptions and constraints.
It's monitoring, key assumptions and constraints.
Yep. Monitoring.
Again, it's basically one leading up to the other. So if you have certain assumptions and they don't necessarily tally with the process you have, it's just going to result in increasing the risks.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Okay, the project register. This is when you have listed all the risk and who is responsible for that. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, it's gonna consist of your risk owners. Like what kind of
Yep, risk
owners are
owner.
there?
And then yesterday, Heather and I, although they said that they had a risk owner in the question, what we realized is that the responsibility at the end overall is always on the project manager. So even if they
True.
had an owner, you should know that if it's delayed or anything, it is always the PM.
It is always back on the PM's head.
Stakeholder register. It will contain the details of the stakeholder, but then also it will contain who might be nominated as a risk owner.
Yeah, actually, that is where this would come in, like rather the risk register, because risk register would be more to do with this thing. So we could probably make a change over there, Tasha.
Okay.
The risk owner part, we could probably just, scratch that out and just put it as, like basically it would quantify like what the risks are, like what the different properties and, the characteristics of the risk. That's basically what the risk register would be.
Okay. And we'll have enterprise environmental factors.
Mm-hmm. So EFs, it basically consists of this thing, your published
Just gonna put the
risk databases.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that because it specifically relates to this question. Or this concept, right? I mean, EEFs could like span all types of things if you let it.
Sure.
OPAs, even yesterday that we talked about with the OPAs as it relates to.
Again, this is specifically to do with what do you call them? Repositories.
Yes. Repositories and so we talked about yesterday also how the company will take on risk should be in documents, right? Company documents.
Fair enough. So that would also include, like the policies that are being implemented, like company policies and whatnot.
Yeah.
So you could add that as well. So that would come under PPP, policies, procedures, and what was the other thing? I forgot the third P, what it was.
Process, maybe?
Processes. There it is. Right.
Okay, let's move to, so this is what we have for inputs, risk management plan, assumption language register, stakeholder register, but we might just see it titled project documents. We might just see this title project management plan, and it has its components. Okay, so expert judgment. So an expert judgment in a performed qualitative analysis process group. How are they tied? Individuals who know about similar projects that
would be one.
about the risk and talk about the risk. We talked about that yesterday. Interviews, data gathering.
And before that, we can also add qualitative risk analysis as well. So that would be definitely, like a technique used for this process. Qualitative risk analysis.
I didn't add it here.
Qualitative risk analysis in expert judgment.
Oh, okay.
So, people who actually have like expertise in that particular analysis technique.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Oh, finally my laptop's up and running. Maybe. Request edit access first.
Okay. Data gathering. You want people's input. You want people's input to speak about the risk and not shy away from it.
Right.
Honest input. Honest input. the risk and to not shy away from it. Because, you know, I guess I was listening to someone and he said how he told the story of he told his boss, oh, that there aren't any risks. And then his boss gave him, you know, he was like a new employee, right? So I guess he wanted to,
Oh,
you know, like basically get points.
just not rub him the wrong way, huh?
Yeah, his boss gave him a whole lecture on everything. There's risk. You can never say there's no risk. It's like how people when they are at pitch competitions, they like, we have no competitors, and the minute they say that,
Oh,
you know, like, okay, these
uh-huh,
people are lying.
uh-huh.
Okay, so risk data quality assessment. I'll just look at that first line.
Mhm.
So it evaluates uh, the degree to which the data about I'll fix this when I finish typing. Individual project risk is accurate.
Yeah. Mhm. So it's basically how do you say, like, data feasibility, like how usable is the data that you're obtaining
Oh,
in
data.
order to conduct the qualitative risk analysis. Uh-huh.
That's good. That's nice and simple. Data usability, aka data
Usability makes no sense.
usability. Oh, yeah. I don't know why this doesn't work. For QRA, and then QRA is notated as this up here, quantitative QRA. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Risk probability and impact assessment.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that. Risk probability assessment considers the likelihood that a specific risk will occur.
That is probability, and then this will basically, like we had this matrix in the previous topic, right? The what is that called again? Yeah, your probability and impact matrix.
Yep.
So it's more or less exactly the same. So we don't necessarily have to expand too much on this.
Yep. And it is like a tool or a technique, right? The technique. Um, okay, so we have that. And then assessment of other risk parameters. The project team may consider other characteristics of risk in addition to probability and impact when prioritizing individual project risk for further analysis and action. These characters may include but are not limited to.
Urgency. Oh, this is a lot. This is a lot. So it's wait. First, we consider other characteristics of risk. All right, right, right. So they're basically trying to come up with like a methodology in order to assess impact. So the different criteria you could use is like urgency, proximity, dormancy, and all that stuff. I mean, from the words itself, it's kind of self-explanatory, so I don't think we need to dwell much into this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna write all of that, but yeah.
Oh, except for the last one, if you want to look at propinquity, because I think we've seen this before, and I think some of us were stumped.
Yeah, Heather, I saw it yesterday, and I actually did look it up, and it's all about a relationship, how close you
Mm-hmm.
are, right, to that
Uh-huh.
specific thing. I might be wrong.
Significance, right? No, no, it is, it is. Significance. That's what propinquity means. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. Propinquity.
I was saying it wrong too. I was just like, how do you say this word?
Uh,
But guess what? We have the whole nice and friendly Google. So
help
propinquity.
us out on that, right?
Yeah.
Propinquity.
Propinquity. Okay, so you know that. All right. So we have this. We are up to this. We did
And we
this.
have interpersonal. Wait, what time is it? Oh, yeah, we have 10 more minutes to go before we can jump into the
Yep.
round robins.
the facilitation is
Facilitation, right?
it's not as oh, it's in the team, interpersonal and team skills. They just wrapped it.
Mm-hmm.
A
Yeah,
skill,
so it should be the other way around, but it's all right.
oh yeah. I don't know. I guess the reason why I did it was because some of them had so many, like in project documents,
Mm-hmm.
in project documents. I guess the differentiator for me was like I put it first with the connection afterwards, but then definitely I could switch it around. Um, so interpersonal and team skills, I'll probably do that and then put like a colon or something. But anyway, a skill facilitator can help participants to remain focused on the risk analysis task, follow the method associated with the technique accurately, reach consensus on assessments of probability and impacts, identify and overcome source of bias, and resolve any disagreements that may arise. So facilitation is up there. What is one sentence? A skill facilitator. Help participants reach the goal as it relates to risk and the surrounding decisions, risk analysis, and the surrounding decisions that needs to be made. Decisions that needs to be made. Okay, I'll take that for now. And like I said, this is your ones after, so y'all could like do what y'all need to do.
Uh-huh. Oh, we're almost done.
Yep. Okay. Risk categorization.
Source of the risk.
Yeah. And the risk breakdown structure.
Wait, there's also something known as a resource breakdown structure as well, right?
Yeah, resource breakdown. Oh yeah. Right. So don't get your RBS confused. This one has the risk breakdown.
Exactly. Because I remember, I think we faced this somewhere, right? Like they just put it down as RBS, and some of us thought it was risk, the other people thought it was resource. So, and it just came screaming back to me.
Okay. Use the work breakdown structure.
That is in order to see where, like which part of the project would actually be affected by the said risk. That's why we use the WBS.
We could change this a little bit later. Okay, so that might be something to keep in mind. And common root causes.
Yep.
Common can help categorize risk. Risk. Okay, we see the probability and impact matrix, which we talked about earlier. Grid for mapping the probability of each risk occurrence and its impact on project objectives. If that risk occurs. Okay. And then hierarchical, I mean, you can add more later if you want. Hierarchical charts. Wait, the matrix specifies combinations of probability of impact, allow individuals to be divided into priority groups. Risk can be prioritized for further analysis and plan on risk responses based on their probability and impacts. The probability of occurrence for each individual project risk is assessed as well as impact in one or more project objectives if those occurs. Okay, so we're good. Our organization can assess a risk separately for each objective, cost, time, and scope by having a separate probability and impact matrix for each. So you could divide it out. Alternative, it may develop ways to determine one overall priority level for each risk, either by combining assessment for different objectives. Okay, hierarchical chart.
Is this actually in terms of objectives or in terms of constraints?
Probability and impact. It's objectives. That's what it's tied to. They say here.
Oh, right.
And
no,
then,
because whenever I see these three together, right, I immediately think constraints because.
yeah, but then I guess they just said example, so it could be with objectives, right? E.g., okay, hierarchical charts where risks have been categorized using more than 2 parameters.
Right. So two of the most common ones are actually probability and impact, but then there could be something else, like in terms of, like occurrence. That's probability. So what's the other one? Acceptability and stuff like that.
Yes. So
be
no bubble chart. All right, hierarchical chart. Okay, and then meetings. This stuff had a lot. All right, so we know the importance of meetings. I think yesterday we talked about also, like, you need to meet with everyone to discuss the risk that could happen on the project. It should also be something that happens frequently, like not frequently, but you should have certain time set aside to discuss this.
Right.
And then you'll talk about other risks that's coming up along the project. So I guess it's just like normal behavior, right? It'll be normal like agenda. Things happen.
Part of the agenda.
Yeah, not really, but if like people give a status report and they're like, you know what, this is what's stumping me, right? Or not, or this is the opportunity that happened, right? In normal, not normal. Along the way of a project, you are continually talking about the status and the project team should have a let me say a risk workshop. Should have a risk workshop to determine workshop to have dedicated discussion to identify individual project risk. So let me go to review. Okay, so let me take this out because I don't want to confuse us. We can put this out. So that's not the most important thing in this one. Should have a risk workshop to have dedicated project risk. That's what they say here. The meeting may start by reviewing and confirming the probability and impact scales to be used for analysis. The meeting may also identify additional risks during the discussion. These should be recorded for analysis. Use skill facilitated will increase the effectiveness of the meeting. Alrighty. Wow, this is a lot.
We can just, the outputs kind of seem straightforward as well.
Good.
Not much to talk about.
Wonderful. Question time. Is Heather doing 2 things? Because I could jump in mine too. All right, I'll jump in mine.
Yeah, go ahead and do yours for now or for today. I can do some hopefully next week.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you.
Nada. Okay, launch Q&A. I'm just gonna check off. risk management, and I'm gonna check off planning, and let's go. Okay. Sid, you can go first.
Yep.
Second, and whoever wants to jump in, if they're here, they could jump in. Okay.
Alrighty. Just fix up a few things here.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, which of the following describes the purpose of perform qualitative risk analysis? A, develop a probability of project success. B, quantify the risk exposure of a project and determine the size of reserves needed. C, perform sensitivity analysis. D, to create a Monte Carlo analysis. Quantitative. Okay, this is quantitative. I'm actually gonna go with B, quantify the risk exposure of a project and determine the size of the reserves needed.
Okay.
I think it is, right? Yep.
Yep. Go ahead.
And okay, so we don't really have the explanation for the other options, do we?
No, not in this.
Okay, because I kind of forgot what Monte Carlo analysis was. That's why.
You want to know what's a Monte Carlo analysis?
Yeah. Oh God, I keep
It's a
forgetting all
metric.
these definitions.
Yeah, it's a metric based. There.
Huh. Monte Carlo analysis, quantitative analysis. Okay. You don't know how long a project is going to take. Okay, it's meant to analyze important risks. Okay. Yeah, well, it's time to reach stimulation. Okay. So, okay. I think we've seen this somewhere
Yeah.
in this particular portion before. Yep, the S curve and all that stuff. Right.
Right?
Yeah,
And then
we can move on.
this is the benefits. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm gonna do is I have okay, I'm gonna pull this out. Okay. Next question, Tasha.
Question.
You are the project manager for a technology company. You're currently managing a project to upgrade a software application. This application will automate the end of month financial calculations and could save your company a lot of money. You have identified a huge list of risks and are attempting to determine which risks are most important. All of the following are true regarding the probability and impact matrix, except for which of the following. A, it helps prioritize risk according to their potential for meeting the project objectives. B, it is defined in the risk management plan, which is an output of the plan risk management process. It is used as a tool and technique in the perform qualitative risk analysis process. D, it is used as an input to the monitor risk process. I'm gonna say D. Wait, no, I'm not gonna say D. It helps how to a meeting. Okay, it's defined in the risk management, which is the output for the plan. Yes, it is used to in the perform. It is used as an input to the monitor risk process. We haven't got to the monitor risk process, but I'm gonna pick D. I'm gonna go with what I said in the beginning.
Oh, it is D.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was thinking it was B. Because
Yeah.
is it actually defined over there? I thought it was defined and after identify risks.
Yeah, so the plan risk management process and identify risk, they do have and talk about the probability of impact.
Oh yes, they do. Yes, they do. My bad.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so you've included contingency reserves in many activity cost estimates when developing the budget for your project. Management reserve funds have also been set aside for the project. The contingency reserves are intended to cover which of the following? A, foreseeable in certain events. B, foreseeable in uncertain events. C, foreseeable but uncertain events. D, none of the above. Contingency, contingency. Hmm. Okay, what's the difference between B and C? Foreseeable and uncertain events, foreseeable but uncertain events. Hmm. I'm gonna go with C.
Yeah, I think because and that and is confusing me, but
Mm-hmm.
yep.
It is C, right? Is any uncertain event, right? Contingency, discretion of the manager. Yeah, known unknowns. That's what it is. They just use other words to kind of trip us up.
Yep, and this would be found in your risk register as identified
Mhm,
risk. Cool.
mhm.
You're conducting documentation reviews and are using information gathering techniques with your subject matter experts, all while working to fill in parts of your risk register. What process are you performing? A, plan risk management. B, identify risk. C, perform qualitative risk analysis. D, plan risk response. Uh,
Documentation review.
identify risk.
Uh-huh. Because your risk register is your output, right? Yeah, that seems straightforward. Okay. While preparing the risk management plan for your project, you find that you are still unsure how to determine if certain risk responses are a proper fit in given situations. When is it appropriate to accept a project risk? A, when the qualitative rating is moderate or low. B, never all risk must be mitigated or transferred. C, when the project team has never completed this type of project work before. D, when the expenses and hassle of responding to the potential risk event outweighs the effect it would cause if it occurred. Mm, Well, uh, wait, qualitative rating is moderate or lower?
Yeah,
Uh, I think I'm gonna go with A.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Is it?
Let's see.
Oh, it's D. Those risks which carry an impact that is lower than the impact created by responding. All right. Huh. I thought we were directly going according to the matrix. This means
I guess the qualitative rating should be high. I don't know. I'll look into qualitative rating. Let's look into qualitative rating because I think that's the thing that caught us.
risk qualitative. Uh-huh. Yeah, maybe I think our understanding of it is the exact opposite of what it's.
Let's see what they say. Qualitative. I just think the qualitative rating thing. I was just like, uh, yeah, we just gotta look into qualitative rating. I think that's off for me.
Mhm.
Okay. Next question. Okay, you are the project manager for a small industrial and engineering company. You're currently assigned to manage a project to support a strategic initiative within your company. Your team is developing the risk management plan. Which tool and technique of this process is used to develop a framework for handling risk, cost elements, and schedule activities that will be included in the project budget and schedule? A, meetings. B, strategies for both threats and opportunities. C, information gathering techniques. D, risk data quality assessment. To develop a framework that on risk, cost elements, and schedule activities. Um, I haven't seen the others. I feel like meetings is the answer. Develop a framework. Yeah, I'm gonna say meeting.
Risk.
The others don't look familiar to me.
Hmm. Meetings, fair enough.
Okay, good.
Okay, at what point in a project is possibility of failure the highest? A, the beginning of the project, B, after the initial project plan is published, but before work actually begins, C, after halfway point in the project is reached, A, just before the end of the project. Hmm, I want to go with, I don't know why, but really confused.
Which one?
Possibility of failure, right? It's not necessarily risk.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with C, after the halfway point.
A.
Oh, God. It's again that particular graph, cost versus risk. That's what it is.
Yep.
Hmm.
Okay, so you're a project manager in the process of identifying project risk. Which of the following data gathering techniques might you utilize? A, root cause analysis, B, brainstorming, C, assumption and constraint analysis, D, the Delphi technique. I'm brainstorming because you're identifying and just want to know as much as possible.
Ah, okay.
Data analysis technique is assumption and
Not
constraint.
identification.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So you're a senior project manager and you're discussing project risks with a new PM. She's having trouble differentiating what is part of risk management plan and what is documented in the risk register. Which the following is not a component of the risk management plan? A, roles and responsibilities. B, methodologies used to handle risks. C, risk responses. D, risk categories. Hmm. Okay, risk register is there. I'm gonna go to risk categories because I think that'll be part of the risk register.
C.
Oh, it's C. Risk responses. Okay. Oh my God. Risk categories are also okay. Fair enough.
Okay, good. Not 10. Risk can either be positive or negative events that may impact the project should they occur. As such, response strategies may vary depending on the nature of the threat or opportunity. Which of the following are strategies for responding to positive risk? Escalate, share, accept, mitigate, enhance. Mitigate, accept, share, exploit. Escalate, share, accept, enhance, exploit. Elevate, share, accept, transfer, enhance. So I am thinking exploit is not in this one. So I think it's A. Oh, let's see.
C, right?
Escalate.
Because enhance and exploit is there, right? And it's a positive risk. So you gotta like make full use of it. I think that's the reason why.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, in my mind, exploit was a bad terminology. I'm like, oh, did I remember seeing? Did I remember seeing enhance? Okay, cool. Now I know there's E's. There's the 3 E's. Cool.
Okay, well, which method of risk analysis provides a project manager with a risk ranking? A, quantitative. B, qualitative. C, the utility function. D, SWOT analysis. Correct. Oh, this risk ranking. And risk. I think I'm just gonna go with SWOT analysis.
Okay, I think it's A for some reason.
Qualitative. No, but it could be qualitative then, right? Rather than quantitative. Like if it's not. Anyway, let's see what it is.
It's qualitative,
yeah. Qualitative, yeah.
A risk ranking is high, medium, or low for each identified risk. Oh, note the urgency of the risk is also addressed. How quickly it is approaching.
Right.
Okay, which risk response is most likely to involve contingency reserves? A, transfer, B, mitigate, C, acceptance, D, share. I'm thinking acceptance. Let's see.
Yeah, that's gonna go decent.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. You've nominated one of your team members to be a risk owner over the design of your product. As such, you have asked her to develop responses for any risk that involve design. She asks you if there's any historical information she can refer to that will inform her of the effectiveness of particular risk responses in earlier project phases. You suggest she consult the A, lessons learned repository, B, risk reports, C, risk register, D, lessons learned register. Okay, she asks you if there is any historical information. I want to go with lessons learned register. D.
Okay.
D.
Oh, sorry. D. You were right.
Yeah, nah, it's okay, huh? Fair
Okay.
enough, fair enough.
You're the project manager in a large financial company. You're working through all the necessary steps to plan and execute your project. You're concentrating on the risk portion of your project when your sponsor calls you and requests that you perform a SWOT analysis. Which of the following are analyzed using SWOT analysis? Strength, weaknesses, options, and timing. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Watch list items, positive and negative risk. B.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Textbook definition. Yep.
yeah.
All right. So your project involves installing a new human resources systems. You identify the risk associated with this project and are ready for the next step. What is the next step? A, you will evaluate the risk and assign probabilities and impacts using qualitative risk analysis. B, you will use a Delphi technique to confirm the risks you've detailed and identify others you may have missed. C, you must evaluate the risk and assign probabilities and impact using quantitative risk analysis. D, you will define the steps to take to respond to the risk and detail them in risk response plan. You've identified the risk and ready to take the next step. Okay, risk identification is done. I want to go with A, QRA, qualitative.
Oh, I'm like, you were right. Let's continue.
Qualitative, quantitative, that was the sleep up. Fair enough.
Okay, so you are the project manager for a large banking situation. Due to numerous federal regulations regarding the financial industry and your sponsor's risk adverse attitude, risk planning and execution are key to your project success. Previous projects have failed due to inadequate risk planning. This is not an option for your project. Inputs to the planned risk management process includes which of the following? A, project management plan, project charter, enterprise environmental factors, risk register. B, project management plan, organizational risk management policies, define rules and responsibilities, stakeholder risk tolerance, templates for an organizational risk management plan, and the work breakdown structure. C, project management plan, project charter, stakeholder register, enterprise environmental factors, organizational process assets. PMP, project charter, enterprise environmental fact, procurement documents. So definitely, I don't think it's A or D. When I look at B and C,
Oh, inputs to plan.
I feel like we're only planning. So only planning the risk. So I don't know why. Do you think we need the work breakdown structure when we plan our risk? Maybe, right?
We will need the no, but WBS should basically come into the picture when you're identifying the risk, right? Not when you're planning the risk management itself.
Okay, let's
That'll
do.
come in the second process.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah,
Yep.
right. Because I guess when you get to the level that you need the work breakdown structure, you're not in planning anymore, right?
No. Then you're busy, actually picking out each individual thing. Whenever your RBSs come in, your WBSs, you're deep into that particular knowledge area.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so you've prepared a risk response plan for a particular risk event. However, the response cannot eliminate the impact of the occurrence completely. Which of the following describes the impact of the risk which remains notwithstanding your response plan? A, residual risk, B, secondary risk, C, acceptance, D, mitigation. Okay, let's have to read this again. This is one now, a particular risk eliminate the impact of the occurrence completely. I think I'm gonna go with wait. I think it's acceptance C. But I think acceptance is whereby you have like no goal and whereby like you're just taking the risk as it is without making any changes to it. That's what I think C is. But I don't know. Let's just see what the answer is.
Okay. I don't know why I think it's residual.
I think I got my definitions wrong. Yeah, see, that's what it is. That's exactly what residual risk is. I mean, that's what residues are. Oh, God.
Be kind to yourself. It's okay. Like, that's why we're doing it. Okay. You are a project manager for a major telecommunications network upgrade with a NPV of $1 million. You are heavily dependent on a third-party vendor for your project, and your contract office informs you that there's a 30% chance that the vendor will go out of business at the end of the quarter. If that occurs, your project will incur a $300,000 cost overrun due to rework. There's also a 30% chance that the new legislation will pass that will decrease government oversight of your team's work. If the legislation passes, you estimate that your project will save $160,000 in time delays. Lastly, your technical lead indicates that there's a 20% chance that a new software package will be available by month's end that could save $180,000 in testing time. If available, the software will cost $50,000 to procure and install. What is the total expected monetary value?
Okay.
So we have it's a probability, so it's whatever percent times the value. That's something I know. 300K overrun. There's a 30% chance, so I think we do have to do 300,000 times 30%. That's going to be a negative value.
Is it? Oh yeah, right. So this is the overall value in case if it happens, right? The 300,000. Fair enough. I didn't see that.
Okay, and then are we also doing 30% to the 160,000?
Yep.
Last thing, you're technically leading that there's a 20% chance of new software.
So it's 48,000 and 90,000 for the first one. So it's $1 million minus 90 plus 48, and then
36 plus 36.
0.2 of 180. That's like a 36 plus 36, and then okay. So wait.
And then do we gotta add 50K?
No, you're supposed to subtract, right?
Lastly, your technical lead indicates that there's a 20% chance that a new software package will be available by months, and that could save 180 in time. So that's 36 in probability, but then if available, the software will cost 50,000 in procurement. So do you subtract it first, then times 20%?
No. You're actually supposed to be 20% first. You're supposed to multiply that by 0.2 and then subtract out whatever you're doing, right?
So you got to times the software cost by 20% too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're just basically doing 180 minus 50 times 20%.
Wait.
Plus.
No. It's 20% of 180, which is how much? That's like 36, right?
Yeah.
And then yeah, so you're adding that, but then afterwards you're subtracting the 50,000 because that's how much it'll cost to like procure and install it, right?
Okay.
I know, but none of the answer I have, like none of the options are matching.
Uh,
Why don't we just go with like 990 and see? Uh-huh. It's D. Ooh. All right, now we have what it is. Calculate. Okay. Yeah, minus 90, 48. All right. Oh, it's 20. Oh, it's 180 minus 50. You were right. Fair enough.
okay. And then at least we got the negative part right.
What we did was we did not, okay, expected monetary value is basically not from, like we don't have to include the NPV in that. That's what I did.
Okay.
I basically added and subtracted all these values to the NPV in order to think like what the total expected monetary value would be, which
Oh, no.
isn't needed.
Okay, so you just had to do the values that were obtained, and it's not connected to the $1 million.
Nope.
Wonderful. So at least we know how to do that now. Good. Next question. Your turn.
All right, so you're a project manager at a major aeronautics company. The project team has identified the anticipated risk for the project, determined probabilities and impacts, and assigned risk owners to them. As the project management plan evolves, where will this information be housed? Okay, I'm just going to do that again. The risk for the project, determined probabilities and impacts, assigned risk owners to them. Okay, A, risk management plan, B, risk responsibility breakdown, C, risk register, D, risk assignment matrix. I think I'm gonna go with risk management plan.
Yeah, I think that's the answer.
Ooh, risk register. Oh God. It is not as address specific risk. Yeah, B and D were basically made up. So.
Yeah, I think I saw this yesterday. I think there's something like this came up yesterday. I got the same wrong answer yesterday too. We'll get it right. I will finally get this right. All right, 20.
Fair enough.
You have identified a risk that you may run out of plywood on your construction project. Which of the following statements is not true regarding identifying project risk? A, identify risk in an iterative process. B, checklist analysis, expert judgment, and SWOT analysis are tools and technique used in identify risk process. C, project risk will always adversely affect the project. D, once a new risk is identified, it should be analyzed to determine whether a response plan is needed. I think C.
Right? Yep.
I have to remember that checklist analysis and SWOT analysis and tools and technique and identify risk. Okay, It is 9 a.m. So that's wonderful. We are on task with how we're learning. Next week we get into still plan risk response, plan procurement management, plan stakeholder management, and then we go into direct manage project work and manage project work. So that's 5 days next week. We're getting into our executing. Okay. What I would do is I will, like I said, I will share out our ITTO charts, and then y'all could